And they kept saying, drop the knife, and then I hear a big boom.
A stabbing at a credit union leads to an officer-involved shooting.
Tonight, we've learned the name of the suspect and the charges she's facing. Now, this all unfolded over a period of several hours in Virginia Beach this afternoon.
Yeah, police tell us they got the call for a stabbing around 1:15. That was at the Navy Federal Credit Union on Providence Road near Kempsville.
Then officers found who they believe was the suspect not far away near the intersection of Princess Anne and Baxter Roads. That is where the shooting happened.
And that's where we find 13 News Now reporter Chanu Her live tonight. Chanu.
Well, Philip and Regina, police were out here for several hours investigating after that stabbing at that credit union. This is right on Baxter Road near Princess Anne, like you guys mentioned. Police say they found the suspect out here, and when they went to confront her, instead of obeying commands, she lunged at officers with a weapon. In her backyard, Kendall Meyer heard and saw it all.
I watched it all happen, like I was right there.
Virginia Beach police swarmed Baxter Road near Princess Anne, focusing in on Shantrina Fountain and her car. Police had been searching for her, believing she was the suspect in a stabbing at Navy Federal Credit Union on Providence Road earlier in the day.
I thought it was a car accident, like some cars screeching, people yelling, like I thought somebody got in a huge accident, so I just looked up and there was cops, a bunch of cops.
Police say they had to use a rolling roadblock to get Fountain to stop her car, but even then, she refused to obey police commands. Officers used a taser, which they say was ineffective. That's when they say Fountain lunged at an officer with a weapon, and an officer fired their weapon.
And they kept saying, drop the knife, and then I hear a big boom, and I just watched her fly back, and then they kept saying, drop the knife.
Myers' account was all captured on video. This is what she caught on camera as she stood in her backyard. Police say Fountain sustained injuries but should survive. They're unsure at this point if the injuries were from the actual police weapon fired or caused from something else. Now, police say Fountain is facing multiple charges tonight, including malicious wounding for the stabbing and also felony assault of a law enforcement officer. As far as the stabbing victim goes, police say she should be okay. Live in Virginia Beach, Chanu Her, 13 News Now.
And the story is still developing. We anticipate learning new information over the weekend and into the week. Stay with us on air and online for any updates as soon as we get them. All right, new at 11. One man is seriously hurt after he was shot in Portsmouth earlier tonight. This happened on Randolph Street about an hour ago. Police tell us the victim is an adult man who was shot in his upper body. The victim is in the hospital tonight with serious injuries. No word on who was responsible.
Tonight, the owner of a martial arts academy in Newport News is behind bars, accused of raping 3 young girls who were students at the school. Police have charged Jeremy Armstead with a number of sex crimes. He owns Extreme Dragons Black Belt Academy on Warwick Boulevard. Investigators say the 30-year-old began assaulting and raping the victims in 2014 and that the alleged abuse continued for 3 years.
Testimony will continue Monday for a wrongful death lawsuit against 4 Virginia Beach police officers. The family of India Keggers filed that suit. She was shot and killed by police 3 years ago. Her family rested their case yesterday, but today one of those officers testified. Keggers was inside a car at a 7-Eleven with her child's father, Angelo Perry, when police began shooting. They were trying to take Perry into custody, according to police, and say that he shot at them first. They say they didn't mean to shoot Keggers. Attorneys for the officers in this case call Keggers' death tragic, but say that the officers acted reasonably. Her family says they could have done more to stop her from dying.
We are just over a week away from the beginning of a new school year, but tonight more than 50 parents and 10 staff members at a Virginia Beach preschool are struggling to come to terms with devastating news. Their school is shutting down immediately. Now those parents are left scrambling to find new schools and the teachers are out of work. Reporter Robert Boyd has the story you'll see only on 13 News Now.
Well, Regina, teachers at Immanuel Lutheran preschool were busy painting, decorating, and cleaning classrooms today, getting prepared for the first day of school on September 4th. And then everything came to a halt. The church that runs the school, without any explanation why, just decided it's time to close.
We were just notified this morning that the school is closed.
Rachel Lizon doesn't just have a child who attends Immanuel Lutheran School. She's also the chair of the school board
And she was just as shocked as anyone to find out the church council was shutting them down without any explanation.
We're a week and a half away from school starting, and we have over 50 students that don't have a school to go to.
Nisa Cochran is a parent of one of those students.
It's so incredibly disrespectful and disheartening to get a voicemail. Like, I am displaced. Like, I can't find child care for my daughter.
Cochran says the best she can do is get on a waiting list, which could take months.
Called multiple preschools today since we got the call, and all of them are hearing from Immanuel Lutheran parents.
These parents say they thought Immanuel Lutheran was like a family, and family shouldn't turn their back on one another.
The ethics kind of went out of the window, and in my opinion, for a church to operate at that capacity is unacceptable.
The school closure also puts 9 teachers and school director Shannon Tate out of work.
I had no answers for them. I have no answers for myself.
Tate says it's extremely difficult to land another teaching job this late in the summer.
And they might be forced to look outside of this field, which is really sad because they're fabulous, fabulous educators.
These teachers found out about the closure by way of a letter from the church council, which stated the school will close at the end of daycare Friday. And because of that, the teachers would lose their jobs. The letter also said it's offering a severance package to help the teachers with the unexpected financial burden. Now, I spoke with the church council president over the phone today. She had no comment about the closure of the school, but she did accuse the teachers of vandalizing the classrooms and stealing things during their last day. Now, the teachers deny any wrongdoing, but teachers did say that the church called the police on them and asked them to leave the school after they spoke with 13 News Now. Robert Boyd, 13 News Now.
The Navy's second fleet is back. It was resurrected today at Naval Station Norfolk after being out of service for nearly 7 years. The fleet will oversee assigned ships, aircraft, and landing forces along the East Coast and in the North Atlantic Ocean. The goal is to be prepared for the possibility of a growing threat in those areas.
We're not looking for a fight, but the best way to avoid a fight is to develop the most powerful and deadly and competitive Navy possible.
Now, bringing the fleet back is part of the Defense Department's new strategy to expand the U.S. military. The Navy says it'll be about a year before the fleet is completely reassembled with its ships, submarines, and staff. It was deactivated in 2011 after more than 65 years of service.
We are still several months away from Workmans' grand opening in Virginia Beach, but right now the company is hiring employees for the store. We're told they're looking to hire about 500 people total. About 185 of them will be full-time employees. You can apply online at Workmans' website. The 113,000 square foot store near Virginia Beach Town Center is set to open next spring. Well, Kroger is also hanging up the Help Wanted sign. The grocery store chain is holding a job fair in Chesapeake tomorrow to staff 2 new locations in the city. It runs from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Delta Hotel on Woodlake Drive. Kroger is looking to hire about 120 people. The new locations are replacing the former Farm Fresh stores on South Battlefield Boulevard and Mount Pleasant Road.
So you know about the lip sync challenges, but now the Norfolk Sheriff's Office says they have another video hoping to catch the eyes of as many people as possible.
We've got to get some new recruits.
The social media recruitment campaign targets high school graduates looking for a job in law enforcement. The Sheriff's Office was able to make the video thanks to a grant from the state. Earlier this year, the Sheriff's Office lowered its hiring age to 18 years old in hopes of getting more applicants.